Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Hunter and I am the Field CTO at NinjaOne. Last week on Ninja 101, we started integrating Entra using SAML, which would force users to be logged into Entra before accessing NinjaOne. You'll need to watch and complete the steps in Part 1 before watching today's Part 2 video, where we're discussing integrating Entra using the SCIM protocol. This part of the integration will allow us to automatically sync mapped Entra users into NinjaOne as either technicians or end users. We're starting in Entra, where I'll go to App Registrations, click on my app created in Part 1, then App Roles, where I'll create an app role. I'm creating two here, one for end users and one for technicians, but if you're only syncing end users, you can skip this step. The name and the value should match, and they are case sensitive, so be sure to use what I'm putting on the screen right now. Set your allowed member types to both, add a short description, and finally enable the app before saving. Next, let's go to Enterprise Apps, click on our app, and then Users and Groups. These groups were assigned in Part 1, but you can add in additional groups at this point, or edit the assignment for the existing groups. Assign one of the roles we just created. In my case, I created two specific groups for this purpose. One that looks for specific job titles in the IT department, who will be technicians in NinjaOne, and then another group that looks for the inverse, any non-IT department personnel who will become end users in NinjaOne. We're going to go into NinjaOne under Administration, Accounts, and then Identity Providers. Click on the Entra IDP we set up in Part 1, and then click on Edit for the SCIM tile. Copy your tenant URL and secret. Then back in Entra, we're going to go back into the Enterprise App section for our app, and click on Provisioning, then New Configuration. Enter the tenant URL and secret token, and then once you test and save, go back to the provisioning menu and click on Attribute Mapping on the left, then on Provision Microsoft Entra ID Users. I've linked the documentation below, but you want to delete all but 6 specific attributes. Once you delete the unnecessary attributes, click on Show Advanced Attributes, then Edit Attribute List for Custom App SSO. Again, the docs are linked below to copy and paste exactly what you need, but this is creating a new attribute for userType, so we can define whether the user is created as a technician or end user. After we create the attribute, we then need to assign it, so close from the attribute editor after saving and assign the new mapping. In this case, I'm using a simple expression that uses the groups we created earlier to create the user as either a tech or an end user in NinjaOne. We can use other attributes as a part of this process as well. For example, if we have multiple organizations in NinjaOne, but we only want end users to be assigned to a specific organization, we can add in the attribute for a specific organization ID. When I assign this attribute to my users, instead of using an expression, I'm using a constant value. I'll go into NinjaOne, copy the organization ID, and then paste it in Entra. Now, any end users created are explicitly created tied to the organization rather than being global end users. The expression mapping can get quite complicated. Here, the expression looks at different job titles that are assigned in Entra, and the expression then maps to corresponding NinjaOne organization IDs. There's also an expression builder from Microsoft, which can be helpful for more advanced attribute mapping scenarios. At this point, we can provision. It'll happen about every 40 minutes, or you can provision a specific user immediately to test. In NinjaOne, I can see my technician users have been created, as have my end users. I can also see the various groups that have been synced over from Entra, and I'll be able to map permissions to user roles in NinjaOne in order to automatically determine what the technician or end user will have access to in the platform. When a user is inactivated in Entra, that user will automatically be disabled in NinjaOne on the next sync and then deleted after 30 days. If you integrate with Microsoft Intune as well, the combination of Intune and Entra integrations gives NinjaOne visibility over both devices and users, further streamlining your workflows and automatically identifying which device links to which user. I've linked a guide in the description where I walk through how the Intune integration works. If you have any ideas for future Ninja 101 videos, let me know in the comments. Take care.